Welcome back, everybody. I built that just now, just in the last few hours. Stick around, I'll tell you how much it cost, and how much the kids are gonna love it. Stay tuned. So for those of you who have children in your lives, whether you're a parent or a grandparent, you know by now that there's no greater joy than bringing joy to those little ones, whether you're rolling around in the grass, fishing, playing with toy tractors, or playing on a swing set. And that's what we're talking about today. We don't have a swing set, we have a bunch of little ones, so I think I've come up with a cost-effective DIY solution to slap a swing set together that's going to be strong, safe, and something that's going to last, and something that the kids can be proud of, and I can be proud of. Well, my wife has some grand illusions that I'm going to build. That was kind of one of the contingencies of us buying a sawmill. I'll build a grand play set that'll rival any play set you see in the country. But for starters, we're just going to go with a simple swing set. And the stuff that I saw at the store looked kind of junky and kind of overpriced. And I knew I could do better. So I was dreaming up ways to timber frame one and slap something together. But then I saw they make these brackets online that are designed to take all the guesswork out of it. So I went ahead and bought one of these. Well, two of these. There's an identical pair in this box here. But this was about $72. Seems well built, and it's probably stronger than something I would screw together myself. And it's made to accept standard, say, big box store lumber. These are designed for 4x4s for the legs. So these are 3 5/8. That's what a finished 4x4 is roughly. And this opening is for the main beam is 3 5/8 by 5 5/8. And this is for a 4x6 beam you would buy. And that's probably the easier way to go about it, but since we have the sawmill, we're going to saw up our own lumber. We just need those 5 pieces we talked about, and we got a lot of leeway on how tall we want to make the legs or how long we want to make these beams. So we'll go pick out a log and talk about what we're going to do. The manufacturer of those brackets recommend pressure treated lumber, and I think they gave out some examples maybe to use 8-foot long legs, those 4x4s, and a 10-foot long beam. So you need 4 legs and 1 beam. And I just looked at Home Depot's website. A 4x4x8 is about $12 in my area right now, and a 4x6x10 is about $25. So you add those up and you get about $75 worth of store-bought lumber. And that would probably last a really long time. You'd let it dry a little bit and stain it, paint it, whatever you want, or you could leave it raw. We're gonna cut our own. It's gonna add to a little bit more time. Actually, it's pretty quick. I don't be interested to experiment to see if I can cut these as quick as I could run to Home Depot. But we're gonna go a little bit bigger to start. I think I'm gonna aim for a 12-foot long beam and 10-foot long legs and see how that works. There you go. Do you want to build a swing?
Yeah.
You want to use this log?
Yeah.
We make a swing out of this?
Yeah.
All right. So we've got about a 21-foot maple log here, and it's easy access, so we're going to cut about 12 feet off the top, and that'll be our lumber.
That piece.
Yep, I cut it. Good job. So swing sets are one of those things that are cross-cultural. No matter if you've got a small patch of backyard you can put one in, or a ton of land. That's what we're focusing on here. I'm not talking about the chainsaws, tractors, sawmills, stuff like that. But if you are interested, that's what I do most of the time on this channel. So please consider subscribing if you have any interest in kind of rural, family-centric outdoor living. That's what we talk about a lot of the time. But today we're talking swing sets. Slight change of plans. That maple log was a little more punky than I thought. It had some holes in it and wasn't going to yield very good lumber. So swapped it out for a 10-foot ash log here. Hopefully this will be plenty good enough for those 4 legs we need. And we'll get the beam out of a separate 12-footer. So in case you couldn't tell yet, we don't do this to save time. We do this because we love doing it. The sawmill's the most fun tool that I own. We have the resources here, so we're trying to put them to good use. We have more wood than what we need for firewood. So this dead ash log, the emerald ash borer got it. This will be perfect for the 4x6 12-foot long beam that we need. Yeah, it's not going to waste. And the pressure treating process isn't good for the kids to be chomping on. Not that your kids are going to be biting on your swing set, but the fewer chemicals we can introduce to our kids, the better. I imagine most of you can skip that step, but we're done here. We've got 4 legs 10 feet tall and 1 beam that's 12 feet tall. So we're going to take this closer to where it's going to live forever, because I imagine it's going to be pretty heavy once we build it. Man, that's a tight fit. And I had complete control over the size of these beams. So I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So here's what I'm talking about. I don't know if it's a product of the welding or just the manufacturing, but this is pinched in quite a bit. So I'm not struggling, well, struggling all around. It's a rectangle, but it's a little concave, so I think I can pound it in the rest of the way. I just hope I never have to get it out of there. Well, if you order this set, this is how they come. One bigger box with 2 of these little trapezoidal boxes in there. See if this one, the hardware, was in the other one. Enough hardware for each leg in each box. A bunch of 13mm bolts with washers. And that one looks like it's in better shape than the first one I tried. It's much squarer. Alright, we've got these pounded down there pretty flush. If you read through the comments on Amazon, you'll see a lot of people complaining about the fitment. But rough sawn lumber like this, or if you get it from a big box store or lumber yard, depending on the moisture content, you don't want it to be too loose in here, obviously. This is going to shrink. Most things you buy are going to shrink as the pressure treating dries, but that's what those lag bolts are for. And here it's probably worth mentioning that if the 4x6 that you buy or make has any crown in it and any bow, you want that the crown to be up like a rainbow. So that'll just help with the strength of the swing set and prevent any problems sagging down the road, hopefully. This is not the correct drill bit for the job, just so you know. So if you don't have a drill, you probably get by You put these bolts in with a ratchet, and especially if you buy green pressure treated wood from the lumber yard, I think you wouldn't struggle too mightily to get these in here. I have some drills, so this will just go quicker for me. So I have 3 swings I'm going to put on this 12-foot beam, and I'm just going to space them. One's going right in the middle, and the other 2 are, the nearest chain is going to be about 18 inches from the top of the post, and these posts go out at an angle, so based on my research of swings, that's good enough. And the chains nearest each other here in the middle, the chains are going to be about 21 inches apart, so the kids, if they stay perpendicular to this, they're going to be almost 2 feet apart. Hopefully that's enough to avoid any collisions, but if not, we'll see. And there's all kinds of anchoring solutions for these. I just bought some eye bolts that should be strong enough. I'm going to pre-drill those holes now. Might need to get a bigger drill bit again. So here's what I went with the lag bolts. They're 4.5 inch long by 3/8 inch diameter. It says they've got a working load limit of 230 pounds, and there'll be 2, so 460. We don't have any great big friends, so hopefully this works out fine. Oh yeah, I'm gonna need to go get a bigger drill bit. I guess that's the easiest way to do that. Alright, nothing really bad to say about that. Hardware seems pretty robust. It's going to hold the swing set together. Did not come with any extra bolts, so I really would take your time and pre-drill those appropriately so you don't break any like I did. But it's not going anywhere. Gravity's pretty much going to hold this one together. I'm home alone right now, and even though I'm pretty young and healthy, I don't think I could lift that up by myself. Luckily I've got the tractor, so we'll stand it up and then we'll talk about the swings that we got for it. Phew, it's difficult to muscle around. It's pretty big. It holds. So I bought a set, or 2 of these swings from Amazon, and it was $35 for the pair. I'll put a link to those down in the description. Seemed like great quality, but I went with 10-foot legs here. I think if I went with 8-foot legs, these would be perfect size. or height I mean. But I've got some extra chain and some connectors. I'm gonna lengthen these and hopefully get it set up before the family comes home. How high should a swing seat be? A seat or taut swing should rest at least 24 inches from the ground. Between 19 and 21. Go with about 2 feet. I don't know, that's about 28 inches off the ground. I don't know if I should add 4 or 5 inches of chain or cut 4 or 5 inches off the feet. Cutting the feet would be easier, but I kind of like how tall it is. We'll go with chain. Alright, I went and grabbed the world's jankiest ladder and I made a few or 4 of these little extensions. Ends up being right around 4 inches long, so see how that works. Oh lordy. Oh lordy. Oh my goodness. My wife's gonna love it. Kids are gonna love it too. So I mentioned earlier how the things for sale at like the Sam's Clubs and the Walmarts and Home Depots, it seemed a little janky. There's probably nothing wrong with it and it'll probably last just fine, but I wanted something a little more robust, and there's a cool factor to saying Dad built that, or Mitch built that, or eventually Grandpa built that. So that's why we did this. And breaking down the cost, we talked about everything, but I'll talk about it all at once here. So the brackets I bought, those green things you see, and the hardware, that was about $70. And the swings were about $35. And some miscellaneous hardware, those eye bolts and some lengths of chain, that will do another $20, so that brings you to $125. We had this little Tyke swing set that is about $30 on Amazon. I'll post a link if you want that. But so we are all in for $125. We obviously milled our own lumber, but we talked about if you get the recommended size 8-foot legs, 10-foot beam, you probably couldn't fit a third swing on there. But I think that would be about $75 nowadays at Home Depot, pressure treated pine. So yeah, $200, you have a nice handmade swing set in a few hours. Takes a little bit longer if you want to film a video at the same time, a little bit longer if you want to mill your own lumber, but well worth it. So if you want to do something this size, you're getting closer to the $225, $250 price range, but still probably well worth it. This thing was much, I think it's going to last quite a bit longer than a store-bought piece, and we'll talk about treating it next. So if you wanted to do a rough sawn raw lumber like me, this is ash. This has no natural rot resistance. It will rot if I leave it out here like this. I am going to leave it out here like this for a month or so. The tree was dead when we cut it, when we found it. It's been dead for quite some time. So I suspect it'll dry awful quick in the wind, but still it'll rot. I'm going to put some concrete blocks, some thin pavers under the legs to get it up off the ground. And as soon as this dries out a little bit, I'm going to put a heavy coat of oil-based stain of some kind. We use Ready Seal. I've got other videos on the channel about Ready Seal and how well it works protecting outdoor products. But this is going to take a little bit of upkeep. It looks nice right now because it's fresh, but in a couple months, if I don't do anything, it's going to turn gray and kind of ugly. But the Ready Seal will make it pop and protect it, and kids will get many years of enjoyment out of it. The whole treating thing still applies if you buy store-bought lumber, especially pressure treated. That'll also turn an ugly gray color pretty quick, but when you right when you buy it, it's going to be wet, sopping wet most likely. So let it dry for a couple months, and then it'll accept the stain a lot better. It'll look a lot neater in your yard and last a lot longer. I know it's a little hard to appreciate because of the Black Panther, because of the lighting here, but this is a pretty spectacular view. They say there aren't black panthers in New Hampshire. Well, I hope you all had as much fun following along as we had building this thing today. If you enjoyed it, please consider giving the video a like, subscribing to the channel. We got all kinds of fun stuff coming up this summer. So yeah, we'll see you there. Really appreciate it. See you guys at the next one. Take care.